What's up, Hippo lovers? Deathmatch World Cup 4 is around the corner. $10,000 prize pool sponsored by the community. And there are a lot of names there that some of you might not know. So I decided to give you a small overview of the top favorites and some of the players. This will already contain some spoilers of the very first round. It is double elimination from here on in the main event, and the Viper, as indicated with the blue numbers, seed number 1, already won his first game against Mr. Beck T. The Viper himself, obviously the winner of Deathmatch World Cup 2 and Deathmatch World Cup 3, going in as potentially the favorite here. The question is, though, how much he can really prepare, how much he can train. Last episodes went over months and weeks, and Viper could really develop his skills and adjust to the meta. This is the big question this time, if he will find the time, because the schedule will be really packed. I will mention it later on. They will face the winner of Stone Please and favorite. Stone Please, probably most known for becoming top 4 in the German championships just some month ago, and it is his first time qualifying for a major DM tournament, and he's facing favorite, a guy that is, well, quite some time around in the DM scene. Winner, obviously, facing Viper will be a toughie, but you can still fight your way through the loser bracket. Then we have Jitba, the probably most legendary DMer if we consider Trash Talk, and also he had a phase where he was so feared in DM tournaments, probably more dominant considered by DMers than Viper was in his RM prime, and he also did win the Awakening, beating Viper in the final there some time ago, but still big achievement. A bit behind his prime, but yeah, if he gets back to shape, he is maybe an extended contester for the crown even. He's facing Miguel, who did have some good performances in team games especially, but should be really outclassed here with his seed number 25. He did have a second place in a team game tournament, the Uprising. And then we have the winner of that match facing Mr. Nilly as seed number 9. Underperforming, maybe underperforming in the World Cup 3 there, having 2 4-3 losses, and he already beat Winchester 3-0, so that's going to be an interesting tree for sure. And then we have the next match, True, winner of Deathmatch World Cup 1 and third place in Deathmatch World Cup 2 and Deathmatch World Cup 3. Already 3-0 victory there. Goes in with seed number 4. One against Hazy, who is an up-and-coming player. First time going into a main event of a major DM tournament. And also remember, True did beat the Viper after DM World Cup 3 in a show match after that one. That is, yeah, really showing his strengths. Obviously, not 100% seriousness after the DM World Cup finals, but really showing the strengths there. And also for me, I don't want to say top favorite to win this one, but he is dedicated. That's something we can agree on. And he will come up with some very clean build orders and kind of the coach in the DM community. So look out for him. Also, the big co-caster, Kellen, the first name. And he will face freaking Chris, who already won his first round against Velez. Chris and Andy, 2 Austrian brothers that did play in old Woobly days, but more like, I think, Black Forest team game players in RM, and now making a crazy run in Deathmatch. I think they had streak 95 or 105 or something in that ballpark, like around 100 streak in deathmatch team games. They are playing 2v2, and crazy. And that's someone to look out for, especially if you, haven't following the deathmatch scene over the last half year. That's going to be a crazy one. We'll have a tough task, though, against True there in the winner bracket round of 16. Then we have Daywalker flying in as seed number 5, the brother of Rage. And he already won 3-0 against Ariep. Reasonably convincingly, I would say. And he is the craziest Hans player. Guys, deathmatch players look at population at minute 4 when they consider like how good was their start. And if I'm playing Hans, I will have like population 65, 70 at minute 4. He just smashes pop 90 out. And I don't know how. I watched so many of his recs. I asked him in an interview, like, how are you doing it? And he's just like, just play the basics. Have one village on one building and just produce once the building starts. I don't know how he's doing it. But if you want to be scared of a DMer playing Hans War, if you want to learn something how to play Hans War, Daywalker is the person to watch. And he will face the winner of Frost9 against Major KD. Major KD, an active streamer who struggled a bit in tournaments, lost in the qualification round in Deathmatch World Cup 3 against Stout. This time he makes it into the main event, playing against Frost9, typically a Michi player in the old Woobly days, now switching over to open maps, has been number 1 in the ranking for quite some time, and that's going to be a really anticipated matchup there. Frost9 seed 12, Major KD as seed 21, and Frost9, some people have him really high and going deep. It wouldn't shock me if he makes a top 6 appearance there as well. So that is it from this part of the bracket, but obviously we still have 32 players left, and one of the other matchups will be the Code, who is runner-up in Deathmatch World Cup 2 and 3, and is a specialist of market. As you know, guys, in Deathmatch, if you build the market early, you can sell wood, food, maybe even stone, and generate more gold, and he's the guy who masters that one and has some crazy pushes with which he calls a golden army that is obviously more expensive and still really good at getting an eco behind that one after this. So that's going to be someone that I'm looking forward to see how he develops and what he brings to the table. Lyrics on the other side, an old legend, and is apparently famous for making a new account on Amazon Zone Gaming Days, pushing it to 2K within one day without any losses, and then just leaving that account be, and next day he will make another account and plays it to 2K without any losses. Then we have Brew against Freaking Andy. Andy, the brother of Chris, already having played there, and Brew, with some interesting plays, went through there. Obviously the RMer that we know, really good, comparable to Miguel when it comes to being good in team games. Not the cleanest starts yet, but well, a contender for the top 16, maybe top 12 there for sure. And well, already making a top 24 simply because he won this round. So that's going to be an interesting match. Obviously the Code, the big favorite there to go through. And then we have Tato against Tempo. Tempo, the player, not the team. Tato finishing number 4 in Deathmatch World Cup 3. That's why he got such a high seed as 7 there, although we didn't see a lot from him over the time. Tempo, a crazy player. Probably the guy that made me look worst or made me look bad most often in my rated games. I have so many games where I think I won against this guy in a Hans War, and suddenly he shows up with 80 army that I didn't expect, and he just claps me under 20 minutes. And he is way better than most people give him credit for, simply because he's so good at getting admin losses, not showing up in time, not really properly scheduling, and he wasn't allowed in earlier Deathmatch World Cups. This time, we gave him the benefit of a doubt and allowed him back in. He made it through the qualification. Let's see how he will show up in time and if he will play. I would love to see this matchup, because Tato, especially on fast civilizations, could be in some problems. Then we have Cortical against Leaf. Cortical himself, a neurologist is the word. And front row worker during the COVID pandemic quite a bit. Won't have a lot of time to train, but really, really strong. Had top 16 and top 12 performances in the last Deathmatch World Cups, and only back for 1.5 years after being around when Age of Empires first came out. And he's facing Leaf, who is in the scene for a long time, but kind of on the verge of making it to the main event. This time he made it happen. Will be an interesting matchup there. I think Cortical should win it, and then, well, Cortical as seed 10 against Tato seed 7 potentially could be another close one there. Unleashed, someone that a lot of people had a lot of hope for Deathmatch World Cup 3-1. Shocking performance, sadly. Maybe the nerfs against the Viper there in Deathmatch World Cup 3. And he is looking to probably show his strengths again. He was really good in the early days of Age of Empires as well. Some people considered him to be number 1. Very fast, very aggressive, and I would be really scared to face him. Had early advantages against Viper, then just couldn't pull them through in the World Cup 3. I'm excited to see what he will bring to the table. Then we have Paladins against Dragonstar. Paladins, also an old legend that started to play the game. Top 16 in the World Cup 2 and 3. So tries to make it into the money again. The cutoff there, make it top 16 or not. And Dragonstar, also a guy that we know from Random Map quite a bit. I think he might even be 2.2k in RM. And also showing quite some performances in Deathmatch. This is seed 14 for Paladins and 19 for Dragonstar. So could be a close one. Then we have Rage, the guy that eliminated me in Deathmatch World Cup 3, playing against Spring. Rage, the brother of Daywalker over there. Seed number 6. And yeah, I made a file where I did ask DMers like, oh, could you give me some intel about them? And I just see Rage, seed 6, brother of Daywalker, killer of hippos. Well, okay, that happened. And Spring, a guy that mainly plays hunts, I would say. I would be surprised if he's well prepared, if we get to some crazy maps, some crazy matchups. And yeah, would love to see him go deep, though. Obviously, a really entertaining person. And then we will have Rubenstock, who had a crazy game against the Viper last Deathmatch World Cup. Probably, for me, the game of the tournament on Golden Pit, 4 villager market, and Mayans War. Crazy camping, I think 90 villages on gold while Viper was having the hill. And a crazy game against Hydra, who I'm trying to find here. Hydra, young news player, first time qualifying. And yeah, I'm really excited in case Rubenstock and Rage go through. That's a series that I'm probably rewatching or maybe even catching live. Could be a really crazy one. And yeah, on this Friday, so basically the day where you might see this video, all the remaining round of 32s are concluding. And you probably want to know, okay, those are potentially some crazy matchups. When can I see them? And I can tell you that the first parts, the round of 16, so that is going to be, let me see, something like Nili Jitba and True Freaking Chris, Daywalker against Frost9. Those are the games that you can see on Saturday, 16 GMT, maybe a bit earlier, maybe a bit later around that. And the first 2 rounds of the loser bracket, all very, very intense during those days. Then Sunday, we have the winner bracket, round of 8, and winner bracket, round of 4. So already going into the semifinals, very deep there. And then we have a scheduling phase over the week. So this $10,000 tournament will be squeezed into 2 days. And then the final weekend, only 6 players remaining. Winner bracket finals, loser bracket finals are followed. Then loser bracket finals actually Sunday morning, 14 GMT. Then we will have a show match. I'm trying to get Gamer Legion versus Suomi rolling there. Some 3v3, 4v4 action. And then the grand finals, 18 GMT on the 9th. I hope you will tune in for that one. I'm, yeah, pretty excited for all this. And as I said, double elimination. So if you lose this one, you're not out. I hope this gave you an overview of what's to come and maybe some more information on the players. Goodbye, Hippo lovers. Cross your fingers for me.